Could I make it? The outcome isn't certain. Oh well, a broken leg would be comical at this juncture. Oh hey, he slid from the left side of the path to the right. Target acquired. Here we go.
Oh, there you are. I hope your shoes are clean.
What? You aren't surprised?
Let's see. Which one of us is a ninja? Oh, that's right.
You can't even lift your head to look around.
I could hear you.
You don't have ears either.
Ah, would that this was true. It would have spared me from the sound of your voice from the beginning. Alas, I have no external ears, so that there is nothing for waterborne bacteria to infect. And if you're going to dig your fingers into the ridges of my armor to hang on like some kind of chimpanzee, would you please aim for past my collar and not the lip of the shell?
Oh, okay. Why?
Because then you're putting your weight over my center of gravity instead of pulling my shell backwards and down. Come on, Wild. This is basic leverage. You should be able to figure this out with your head, regardless of training.
What's it say about me that I'm happy I weigh enough to minorly impact your balance?
I think it says you're a very strange girl, Anastasia Hamilton.
I got scared of losing you for a bit there.
So why'd you out me?
It made sense at the time. Somehow I made loads of spectacular and loud mistakes for a person with my particular talents.
Humanizes you. Did something else happen? You're being clingy.
Oops, am I? Sorry, I guess I just...
Didn't say you had to stop. We paused and shifted awkwardly for a moment. I noticed she seemed a little off her usual tempo. Each of us ultimately failed to realize how badly the other wanted to be hugged. Then I pulled a gloved hand out of my pocket and reached out to invite Wildcard into occupying the space beside me so that we can walk fairly close together. Gonna come clean?
My dad apparently followed you and I through the storm the other night. He overheard me give myself away to Michelangelo.
How did he react?
He threw a little fit, screaming some pretty intense things. You gotta understand, he's never previously cursed at me my entire life, but for like 60 solid seconds he was having a miniature breakdown. And, we sorted it out after and had a long conversation, but...
But you still feel shell-shocked?
yeah. Something like that.
I spent 15 minutes getting browbeat for misjudging the weather.
I guess I've got thin skin. I do have an unexpectedly tender parent for someone who lobs knives and lit dynamite my way, don't I?
Yes, and the two of you are equally creepy nutcases. And if I'm not mistaken, he's packed some kind of mouth-watering sandwich for you.
Ah, see, that is where you are wrong. He packed 4 egg salad sandwiches, 2 protein smoothies with strawberries and bananas, and an entire tub of vanilla yogurt.
Your father packed me a lunch too? I imagine Donatello would have done the same if some important things about our situation had been reversed. What did I do to deserve such affection?
Clearly you left a good impression, see? It's like I'm always telling you, San. You're extremely likable. Who wouldn't like you? No one. You're perfect.
Yeah, sure.
So I tried to think of what we could do today, and I decided to bring some of my school books. I'm behind on some of my homework and figured if your uncles are going to try spying on us, they might as well catch us nose deep in To Kill a Mockingbird. That would make a funny lecture, wouldn't it? How dare you sneak out to study?
That actually sounds like a good idea. If I'm going to get in trouble soon because of you, I'd rather play it off as mundane and low-key. It's not like this is a very good place to train in daytime anyways. The open space is here, but there's too many eyes.
The major restriction is you can't move very dynamically without accidentally flashing your face to onlookers. You always look like you've walked clear out of some kind of anime, video game, or action movie in that fantastic coat, by the way.
Why, thank you. Not my handiwork, though.
That felt like it ought to have segued into a description of the clearly highly competent family tailor, but somehow didn't. It was normal for Sandro to speak freely of his family members. Then I thought about which of the turtles was usually depicted as taking a lot of ill-advised alone time above ground in a trench coat. We should take advantage of the whole cosplay scene to get our hands on a bunch of equally nice coats and costumes for you. For variety.
I'd have to explain where they came from. Although it is sort of funny to think you could probably get away with waltzing into an open street corner of a city block, wrapped head to toe in ninja guise, and the only reaction you'd get is compliments on the costume.
Oh yeah, I could totally pull that off.
What?
Just thinking. Let it percolate in my brain for a bit until it gets less stupid.
Hey, Wild? I oughtn't let her pretend everything was okay if everything wasn't, but wasn't sure what to say. About your dad. I just want to say that I understand why you were upset. You like him, and you love him, but watching him flip out on you still hurt. It's not crazy to need a little time to yourself, or a little comfort, or whatever.
Thanks.
Are these your scores? Wild, you are in remedial language arts and still barely scraping a C-. This is shameful, Wild.
Well, I brought it up from a D. Can't you be happy for me?
Shameful.
Well, that's what you're here for, Hamato. To help me.
I've got my work cut out for me. Do you have highlighters? Maybe note cards? She snarked something about differential equations, and I knew she'd get me back later, but I smiled to myself at the temporary victory.
Your handwriting is beautiful. We could make a black letter font out of it and sell it on the internet.
Yours looks like an asylum inmate's.
Speaking of that, we don't have any stalkers yet, and it's almost noon. I think we're in the clear for the day.
You still owe me big.
For what?
What you did. You sold me out. For fun. Do you have any idea how bad this could get for me? Or how much worse it could have been for you?
You made me be honest to my dad. And it sounded like you didn't know what to tell your uncle, so I just...
Took the choice out of my hands? I would have never, ever given away the whole of it. Telling your dad you'd gotten in one scrape was very different, and we already basically knew he'd forgive you. You wanted me to push you to tell him. And 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 I still followed on your heels immediately after to see if you were okay, and and tried to calm you down when you obviously weren't.
Sandro.
Forget it. I didn't want to say anything. Just forget it. I had no idea walking back with Michelangelo to our house if I'd ever see you again. Do you realize that?
Are you gonna call me clingy again?
You were hanging on me.
Clingy is not a word with positive connotations. I was upset, and I've never been the one to initiate a hug before, and I thought...
You always cringe when I touch you. I can't figure you out, and wasn't going to pretend hugging you was for your benefit if all I was doing was making myself feel better and making you feel worse.
You think I pretended to calm down when you hugged me? The first time I ever touched your back, you accused me of groping you.
That's exactly what you were doing! And I'm not the one with fake smiles.
Ugh.
Wait.
Make up your damn mind. You're stupid.